Hello, OP friends. So this is my 7th video. I can't believe I've been doing this for an entire straight week now. And I think that compared to my very first video, I'm a lot more comfortable in front of the camera now. My first video makes me cringe really bad. I'm a little nervous today about doing this video because normally I like to shut the door, or in my past videos, you'll notice that I was like leaning up against a bed or like kind of crouching down by a wall or just like in random places. But obviously my desk here is like the best place to be recording it. But today my husband is also like right across from me working on his computer, and he's got his noise canceling headphones in, and he says, you know, like, it's fine, like just do your thing and I'll do my work. But like, I don't know, just having people in the same room as me like just makes me really nervous. So I have a lot of nervous energy today because he's also in the room. But Okay, anyway, just a reminder you should probably watch all of my videos on like 1.5 speed at least, because, you know, like I'm just a mope, and so my videos and my thought processes are a little bit slow. But I will say I watched a few like pure typed FINE videos yesterday, and I watched a few interviews yesterday, and it got me thinking like, whoa, like those are real mopes. I thought I was really slow and quiet and stuff, which I still think I am, but like some of the people that I watched, it was like painfully slow. So that was really interesting. And before I forget, I also watched another interview where an ENFP was interviewing an INTJ, and I guess he brought up this thing called rapper hands, where people do this, and I think I do that a lot. I think I do a lot of hand motions, and I think that just in my experience, using my hands has really helped me to be more articulate of my points, because I noticed that I'll do things like, you know, like visually, like point out a concept here and then like combine them, or I do a lot of things like that, and I realize that it does help me to articulate the things that I'm trying to say. But anyway, I thought that was so funny, like rapper hands, really. And I guess this is an MF trait. So I just heard about it, so I'm not really like too sure about any of that. But when I first heard it, I was thinking like, what is rapper hands, like rapping, or like, and then I thought maybe like gift wrapping, because like, I don't know, your hands would be open when you're like gift wrapping, but apparently it's like wrapping, like rapper hands. And I totally do that. So does that mean that I definitely am MF? I'm not sure, because another person commented on my Facebook post with my video, and they said that they were seeing clear FF, double feminine. So I don't know. Again, I'm still stuck in my journey. I really want to get typed by Shave, but because it's going to take me such a long time to even be able to like have that opportunity, someone suggested that I actually reach out to someone, what's his name, Benjamin, and I gotta say, he is an incredible interviewer. But yeah, okay. So apparently, like, he has a team that also types. So I reached out to him. I sent him a Facebook direct message, and like, I really hope he gets back to me, because I love this stuff so much, and I know it's gonna take a while for me to get typed by Shave. So if I can get typed by Benjamin and his team in the meantime, like, I would be so happy. And I just remember when I was watching his interview with the INFP, the FINE, like, I definitely related the most to her thought processes, like just how like deep and introspective everything was. But more than anything, I was so impressed with his ability to interview her and the types of questions that he was asking. I was like literally jealous. I was thinking like how come no one asked me those questions? Like those are the kinds of questions I would love to like ponder or be forced to answer on the spot, because I would definitely have an answer. And I think that those are the types of questions that like anyone with lead FI is just gonna be like like a mind boner, right? Like yes, like please ask me that. Um, so anyway, I definitely related the most to her thought processes and her answers, but I will say that she's definitely a lot more mopey than I am, which surprised me. And I noticed in the comments everyone was saying, "Oh, that's a super textbook stereotypical INFP." So now I'm thinking like okay, so clearly I'm not an INFP. I don't know. I don't know. Like, and again, coming from the Myers-Briggs world, that's what I thought I was all day long. INFP, FINE, and it's really blowing my mind that that's probably not what I am. But I watched her video, and then I also watched FISI, which is technically like supposed to be me flip because I'm technically SIFI, but like uh no offense or anything, but when I was watching the FISI video, like I barely got through the first 10 minutes and then I had to turn it off because it was so boring. And I feel really bad saying that because I think there's a part of me that I one of my biggest fears I think is for anyone to call me boring. I can handle being called like weird or eccentric or strange or messy or just anything like that. But I think my trigger word would be boring. If someone called me boring, I'd be really sad about that. But anyway, yeah, the FISI video, I just thought it was so boring. I hope she never watches this. And then the last one, the FINI, that was really hard for me to watch too. It was so slow and boring. Not, I feel really bad saying that. And maybe I'll go back and give them a chance and try to get through it. No, I won't. No, I'm not going to do that. I know I won't. So anyway, at this point, I related the most to the FINE. I still feel like our mind and our thought processes are pretty similar, except that now I'm wondering like, are my animals wrong? Because this whole time I thought that I was sleep, consume, blast, play, but like, yo, those are some really low energy people. So now I'm unsure of my animals too. But I will say the some of the people on Facebook who said that I might be the same type as other community members, they actually jumped in and said, "Oh, yeah, you actually seem way more extroverted than me." And apparently, those people in the Facebook community are just a lot more like awkward and shy and stuff like that. But I don't know, like I also have to consider the possibility that all of my enthusiasm and excitement and what's coming across as like extroversion or play energy, like I think it's like honestly because like I freaking love OP so much. I love this shit. And so like that's why I'm so excited to talk about it. If I were to be doing these vlogs about anything else, any other topic where I'm supposed to like educate my audience or something like that, like ooh, it would just be really bad. And I don't think I could do it. It would just come across so like spacey and like incoherent. But because I'm talking about like OP, which is something I really like, and because I'm also talking about myself, with like just because I know myself really well and I'm confident to speak about myself and my likes and things, I think that's why I come across as very like extroverted and maybe like higher in play energy. But again, I'm still figuring that out. So I think out of all of the interviews that I watched so far, and like, yeah, the more interviews I watch, like the more like taken aback I am. So, but I will say, I still hold true that the person that I think is most similar to me is the SIFI that I found on the spreadsheet, named Candice Neistat, the lady, or I don't know, I guess she's a YouTube star and she's married to a YouTube star, I don't know. But I think personality wise, like we're probably the closest so far that I've seen. Again, not like exactly the same, but I think we're kind of similar. And again, I'm still calling that I'm probably close to Kurt Cobain and Jen Im from YouTube, and like I can't prove it yet because I'm not comfortable enough to be typing people, but like there's something there that and I will prove it once I learn everything. I will prove it, but I'm calling it now that I'm very close to them, and I can't explain why yet, but I will. So I think that I'm starting to accept the fact that I think I am SIFI. And I know like for the longest time I could have just sworn to death that I was FINE, but NE I think is my demon. And that's so crazy. And like I'm still like unsure of what to make of that, but I will say that I think that I thought I was really high in NE because I could, like piece things together or make educated guesses, but now I'm realizing that that is actually my SI that's allowing me to make these educated guesses and jumps and leaps based on like the insane detail memory of the past that I have. So like I know that SI is something that's so difficult to talk about, and I even like watched a bunch of videos on people talking about SI, and they even seem to think like, oh, can let's unpack this together. What is SI to you? And I think I think that's what it is. SI is like for example, if someone were to ask me like, hey, what is your favorite this or your favorite that, or what do you like better, or like which one do you think is more whatever, or like appealing to people and customers, or whatever the question is that involves some type of ranking, like yeah, I can pull that out. Like it's kind of like I have all these different filing cabinets in my head, and depending on what you need me to pull out, I'm going to be like, oh, okay, like that's definitely in my memory, and I'm going to yank it out and say like, oh, well, like this one is obviously like going to be more appealing to people because of X, Y, and Z. And I don't know if I'm explaining that in a way that like makes sense, but I think that's what SI is to me, that you it's always associated with the words like memory, right? um, and I think that's what it is. I do have like I I think I have a good memory, but like it's hard for me to kind of compare where I am in my memory like with everybody else, because that's such a personal and invisible thing. Like you don't I would have no way to compare that. But I will say that my memory is very, very, very vivid, and it's probably because I'm always taking in the sensory. And that's why I remember things so much. And I think maybe my FI, like they just work so close together. So my memory is so good because I know exactly how I feel in the moment. So my feelings are really what help me to pull out those memories too. And when I think back on my memory, it's like it's so vivid, it's so clear. I used to do this thing like where I would just like close my eyes and think about like every single childhood bedroom that I ever grew up in, and like that kind of stuff is so near and dear and precious to me. like I could literally, yeah, in my head, I can go into like the childhood bedroom that I grew up in, and like it's such a safe and comforting and like awesome space. And I wish all the time that I could, you know, time travel and go exactly to the way like things used to be, where like the placement of everything, the smell of everything, and just like walk through all of my old houses, because I did move around a lot. So yeah, that was just something that I used to always do, is just like visit all my old houses, visit all my old bedrooms. And that was my form of like time travel, like mental time travel to me, I guess. But I guess like I kind of assumed that everybody did that, but do people do that? Do you do that? I don't know. So okay, so I'm still trying to unpack this whole savior SI thing, and again, because if it is indeed my savior, then it does make sense that I'm like basically blind to it, because it's just my natural state, and so I don't like put much effort into it. It's just my natural state, right? So that would make sense. So obviously I'm coming at this from a SIFI perspective. If you talk to like SI like anything else, right? Like FET, like anything, they're gonna sound very, very, very different. But I guess this is what you get when you have a SIFI is me, I think. um yeah, please correct me if I'm wrong, because that'd be really embarrassing if I'm going down this like entire thing and I'm totally wrong. But that's just my thoughts on SIFI at the moment. And I also did get a lot of comments that my FI is like super masculine, so I am feminine with TE, meaning I'm movable and flexible with like reasons from the tribe. I totally am. I literally like I don't like to cause a fuss, you know? It's so like if the tribe like has a different opinion or whatever, like I'm like, okay, yeah, cool, that's fine. But I think when it comes to my identity, my masculine FI, that's where I am unmovable, and that's where I'm like, nope, like I'm gonna do my own thing, you know, and I know what's best for me. I do. Um, um, yeah. So I think that makes sense. Masculine FI, feminine TE, and I can definitely confirm that I am blast pretty low, I think, because I hate to tell other people what to do. And I've always been that way. Even if I was instructed to tell someone to do something, I always felt so uncomfortable doing it, because like I really, really don't like to tell people what to do. And so in that sense, I've always had trouble like delegating and things like that. Like, um, yeah, I really, really don't like telling people what to do. Like it doesn't feel like my place to just command people to do things. Like that's really weird and awkward to me. So yeah, I would probably make a horrible like manager or something, because instead of like just telling people what to do, I would probably just like be such a pushover and like ask them way too nicely, or like end up doing it myself. And I do end up doing a lot of things by myself because I trust myself the most. It's like whenever I do have to entrust someone else to do something, it's like it's never what I expect. It's like, oh, it's always like disappointing. And so I think I have learned to be very self-sufficient in that sense. Is like it's like I know what a good job is, and like whatever bullshit you just gave to me is not a good job, you know. So yeah, okay, that's that. And then I wanted to talk about like some of my biggest regrets, um, because people say that when they watch my videos, it's all about like things and me and not about other people. So here we go. So one of my biggest regrets just recently in life is that, you know how sometimes you just have like those amazing conversations that just end up like blowing your mind and like blowing like the other person's mind, and like you're just like blowing each other's minds, and like um you know those conversations where it's just like it's so cool, right? But so I've been having, you know, those types of conversations here and there, and while we're talking and even after we finish the talk and whatever, like I'm thinking in my head, like, why am I not recording this? Why am I not recording this? This is like gold. This is gold. This is gold. And and then while I'm even saying it out loud, like, whoa, guys, we really should be recording this. We should be recording this. I don't record it, right? And then so by the end of the day or the night or whatever, I'm thinking like, damn, I should have recorded that. Like I would have loved to have listened to that over and over and over until the day I die, because that was like one of those top tier conversations that I dream about, you know? And so yeah, one of my biggest regrets is like letting those things like disappear. So yeah, and like after those conversations, I always say like, yo guys, like that was totally like an amazing podcast waiting to be published, kind of thing. And so I'm aware that I always have regrets not recording, and so I always think to myself, hey, next time record, next time record. And then for whatever reason I don't record, and I think it has something to do with the fact that I know that the moment I hit record, like it's going to affect the conversation. So like even if I do it secretly and the other people at the table don't know that I'm recording, I know that I'm recording, and that might affect the way I speak and the way I move the conversation. I don't know yet if it would move it for the better or the worse, but I guess like it's not in my head, it's like no longer organic, and that's what prevents me from recording it. So I've always thought like, I wish our phones were just always recording. And I mean, to an extent they are, right? They're always listening to us, but like, why isn't there a feature where you can just like go back and rewind and like let it play back whatever was going on, like while the phone was just sitting out, you know? Um, and 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 then it reminds me of like, like that Black Mirror episode, like one of the ones from the first season when it was still good, but I think they had like those little contacts in their eyes and it recorded absolutely everything. So like you couldn't lie because like it recorded absolutely everything, every conversation, like everything. And that's almost like what I wish we did have, because like then like I would be able to go back and play all those conversations with like no problem, right? And it would also solve so many like legal issues. Like okay, I think it's just so like like outdated that we're still going to court and it's like hearsay and he said this, she said this, and swearing under oath. But like people's memories are fallible and people have their own like ulterior motives and self-interest, and so like why would we trust what people say? And people interpret things differently. And so I always thought that whole process was just so outdated. And I think that one day we're going to look back on these times and be like, oh my God, remember when we used to do that? We used to stand in court and like just swear that we're telling the truth. Like, come on, right? Like, so whenever we do have those devices that we can just replay back exactly what happened, like, there you go. There you go. It's the truth. It's the truth. You don't have someone like twisting the truth. And like the fact that there's like probably so many people whose lives were lost, like just thrown in jail. Like, guys, we only have one life here on earth. And like the people that are wrongfully in prison, like I I can't even imagine. Like their mothers, like their families just must be devastated, and for something that they didn't even fucking do. And it's because like other people, right? Like the other lawyers or like the like other people just said things and manipulated things, and they just got taken advantage of and thrown in jail. And like that is the saddest thing ever. And I think like the only way we're gonna like solve that problem is by just the truth, which is which can be recorded through devices. you can't argue exactly what happened if you can just replay it. You can't, you like, no one can say, oh, actually this is what happened, because no, we're all looking at the same thing. So okay, so anyway, my my biggest regret lately is like not recording conversations, because I really treasure those. And okay, so this is just a note to myself: start recording shit. Yeah, I need to start doing that because I regret it every time. Okay, and then like another fear of mine, like I know I mentioned that I have a fear of being seen as boring, like oh yeah, that would be so sad if someone called me boring. I would feel really sad, I think, and bad about myself. um and I guess another like sort of fear that I have is like if I were to just die unexpectedly, like just suddenly, like oh man, like I'm so disorganized. Like I'm just looking at my desk right now, and like my bedroom, like I have no system of organization. There's just like piles of things, and it's really like it's embarrassing. Like I actually feel bad for my husband that he has to like live with me, because my shit's everywhere, you guys. Uh and so my biggest fear is that, if I were to die and then like, my family like had to come over and like take care of all of my belongings and organize them and stuff, like ooh, like um I don't want them to go through my stuff, because it's just so like disorganized and like so personal and so weird. And like I know that like some of you have said that I'm really like open and honest here, like, but at the same time I'm still like, in control of what I'm saying. But like if you were to just like rummage through my stuff, oh man, like there's absolutely like no filter, so you would find some weird stuff. And like if you open up all of my just notebooks and diaries, like there's no order to it. There's just like scribbles and notes and missing pages and like angry rants and like super emotional outbursts. And like yeah, that there's a part of me that like it's kind of like people wanting to erase their internet browsing history when they die. Like that's kind of how I feel about my things. And so it's always in the back of my mind, like you should probably like organize your things, like, because if anything happens, like ugh, uh yeah, so that's something that I think about all the time too. um okay, and then okay, and then like another video I was watching yesterday had to do with like action movies, and how in a lot of like action movies and dramas there's like a group of like six people standing around, and like each of them take turns like stating information, right? And no one's like interjecting. It's just they all have information that they're providing to the group. And like like for me, I have a really hard time watching shows and movies where it's like that, where the detectives all come together and they're all like information, and it's like I don't want to have to like process all of that. Like I just want to be able to like infer, without like all of this information, like yeah, I guess I can get a lot of details from like sensory observations, not necessarily like information that's like being pounded at me. Like I don't like that at all. And I think that also like contributes to my aversion for action movies. Like I know like those Marvel and like superhero movies and stuff are like really popular, but for me, I've never had the patience to sit through them. And I think it's because the sensory overload, like when there's like car chases, and then like, but there's also like someone coming down from a helicopter, and then they're like jumping from car to car, and then there's like a motorcycle and an explosion, and like I literally am like, wait, what? Like what's going on? Who just punched who? Like what? So like so I've never really liked those types of action movies, and it's because like I have no patience for that. And um I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I've never liked action movies like that. I really liked like the movie Joker. that was a cool movie. I could probably do an entire video on that movie, but that was a good ass movie. Yeah. So anyway, so so Joker is FI, right? And yeah, I think like as an FI person, it's like it's so interesting because from the outside you're seen as very like selfish, um, but like from the inside out you kind of look at everyone else and you think like, but why do you do so much of that for the tribe when like like when you could know yourself instead of having to know yourself through the tribe, if that makes sense. Like so in that sense it's like it makes me wonder if they even have like a strong sense of identity at all. um and like I don't know. And then like another thing I was thinking was like, okay, so FI is very self-amusing, right? Like, which like, why wouldn't you be? Like that's what makes life fun. Is like, I think that if you were a comedian, if you were a FE comedian, you would be like trying so hard to please the crowd, right? And um, I don't know, that's kind of stressful, but like an FI comedian would be like, you know exactly what you're doing, right? So you're making the tribe laugh, but there's something about it that's also like very amusing to you. And like, and maybe there's even things that like the audience is not picking up on that you're doing, but you know exactly what you're doing. You know what I mean? And like, that's where I see the whole like maybe the whole like trickster type of archetype. Like I love that. I love that. Like just doing something that no one else is in on is like the best feeling. Yeah, for sure. Um and okay, and then like so going back to like SI, um I think I watched another video on Lead SI and she was saying something about like, the process of things is so personal to her, so she doesn't like it when people watch her do things. And like, yes, that's so me. Like ever since I was small, like no matter what I was doing, it was like, oh my god, don't watch me. Like don't like I will come to you with the final product when it's done. Like, don't watch me. And like my process of doing things is so, so, so personal. And like because it's so personal, I'm really like protective of it. And like I don't want people to come in and be like, what the hell are you doing? Because I don't know, my process is not always, it's not always like how it should be laid out if it were laid out in terms of like instructions or something like that. So like rather than doing like the step by step process, I tend to sort of think, okay, what do I need to do next in order to like do this? And yeah, I have a very personal way of approaching things, and because of that I really don't like to be watched. Yeah, whether it's like I'm writing something or even if I'm like solving a problem, or if like if I'm doing Photoshop, or even my videos, right? Like that's why I'm so uneasy about the fact that my husband is sitting over there. Even though he has his headphones on, I still feel very uneasy and nervous about that. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I think I'm gonna stop the video here, but I am becoming more and more convinced every day that I am an SIFI with a demon NE. But I think that because of the NE people in my life that I'm so close to, I think that I've honed it as something that I use to help me, and the NE and the SI savior actually work together. And that's why I think that I have NE, is because I make these educated guesses and leaps, and my SI building blocks can go and show me like exactly why I'm making this guess. And so I think that's what's going on with me. I think it's SI and FI like beating each other like all day long. Like, oh, I like this, I love that because of this, and like all these reasons. And then also the NI comes in and says, yeah, and like look at this, but there's a clear path. There's a clear path of associations that lead me to that guess. So yeah, and I guess like the real test of all of this is gonna be, was I right about being typed close to Kurt Cobain and Jen Im? If I can prove that, I think that I can prove that all of those functions are working that way, that I'm making that educated guess, I'm making the any guess of Kurt Cobain and Jen Im, and I'm about to use my SI in order to prove that. I have a long way to go before I can do that, because I don't want to half-ass do it. I don't want to just like, I don't want to purposely create those answers. I don't want to create those reasons and evidence, I guess. I want the truth. I want the truth. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. I'm going to stop here, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.